Hey,
Hi, what's up? What's going on, Twista?
I'm chilling, taking it easy. What's happening?
Chilling. I want to thank you again for coming on my platform. A lot of my followers are very excited, to have you on today. I'm very excited to have you on today. In my eyes, you are a legend, Chicago legend.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I've been watching the Michael Jordan documentary and really, learning about Chicago. I don't know if you're a Michael Jordan fan, but however, you compare yourself to the Michael Jordan of fast rapping. So, yes. So, tell me a little bit more about your techniques because you're one. I mean, I know somebody did take the throne, 10 years after you, but we know you as Twista, the fastest rapper, the who raps really fast. So, tell me your technique on how to break up each syllable because you do like 500 syllables in 55 seconds. That's a lot. So, tell me about your technique.
Yeah, it's more of a rap style than rapping fast. Like a lot of times people are like, how do you rap so fast? And the main thing I would tell you is really more about the style of rap and understanding syllables. So for a long time I was like battle rapping and doing like my metaphors and punchlines, and then one day I wanted to switch it up. I'm like, man, I'm into like the rhythm of words and the flow, and so I started to make little catchy phrases. Listen to the lyrics that I kicked. You know what I'm saying? And then just started doing phrases. So it'll be like, I'm tripping up the words and I'm coming up down the street and then I would put a little more in and then a little more. You know what I mean? Then I just one day wrote a whole verse called Mr. Tongue Twister. And that was the first song I did where my whole song was just in that whole style.
Wow. And also Rakim, he influenced you as well when it comes down to your rapping. Yeah, so you have like this funk zone, you call it, right?
Yeah, it's the funk zone. Rakim definitely gives it to me, like the way he spits on like Follow the Leader, Lyrics of Fury. A lot of his lyrics on like his first 2-3 projects were definitely an inspiration for my rap style for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing for you to definitely pay homage to Rakim. Shout out to Rakim.
Oh yeah.
And back in the day, you started off battle rapping.
Right.
How did battle rapping transform to you being Twista, to you becoming this like rapper instead of battle rapping?
Because I was eating everybody up, and I got a little bored. I had to find something else to do. You know what I mean? So I was doing my thing, and like I said, I got a little bored. I actually did get a little bored with just making like metaphors and punchlines. And I started to look at the way my voice was as another instrument in the music. And so that's when I started to understand how artists would make the melody that they were going to do their lyrics to, even before they do the lyrics sometimes. They'll go like, no, 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 and just do the melody. Like, I did a video with Steen one day, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to ask him something. I got a chance to ask. I was like, how do you make your songs? And he told me he makes his melodies, and he lives with the melody for a while, and then he fills it in with the lyrics, And so I'm always just out of the box when I'm thinking of my lyrics and rap style.
Definitely, that's the way to go. To really think about melody first, because it's not easy to make a song, and to also make a song, and then your pace of how you're rapping, your flow, your style. A lot of people saw that in you in Adrenaline Rush. So this I think that album might be a little bit older than me, but
that's the one.
Yes, that's your baby. So this is when this first came out. Why that album title back then? I'm gonna break it down to back in the 90s because I want to know why that album title.
For Adrenaline Rush?
Yeah.
Because that's what music is for me. Like everybody has a description of how music makes them feel. So for me, like, of course, when I was younger, I liked music. But once I started to listen to hip hop music, it did something else to me. And I always described it as it gives me that adrenaline rush. So one day somebody asked me what was the title for the album going to be. And luckily in my mind, I kind of already had the vibe. It was like, what's the title of the album? And I sat and thought, like, what does music make me feel? What is music for me? And I said, it's the ultimate adrenaline rush. And that's where the title of that album came from.
Definitely. So, back in the 90s, I would definitely say you're a pioneer to the fast rapping. And did you kind of feel like kind of at a place like, oh, like are they gonna accept me? Is mainstream gonna accept me? Like, how did you feel?
Definitely. I always felt out of place. Like if you're from Chicago, you will know what it feels like to have that stigma of being first from the west side of Chicago, because mostly the south side was popping in the beginning days. And then being from Chicago, trying to be accepted by other coasts, like the West Coast and the East Coast, you know, and them feeling like there's no rapping in Chicago, you know what I mean? And then when I open my mouth, I start rapping all of these fast lyrics and nobody else is rapping like this. So you got one, I'm from the West Side, two, I'm from Chicago, three, I'm rapping a style nobody understands. So for me, I had to fight through all of these three things to get to where I'm at.
Exactly, and you fought through it pretty well because your name, your cadence, your style has, you know, lived with us. I mean, you've been in the game for almost 30 years. So,
Oh, yeah.
and you know, and you're relevant as well. You have the best fan base and the best pioneers. And when you started, you came out in the early 90s, but then some of us that are my age remember you in the early 2000s. So definitely you still kept that rapping style. That's why I was like, oh, Twista he can rap. But when you start working with Kanye and Slow Jams, you know, Slow Jams is one of your biggest hits. We play that still in cookouts. That is a lifetime. That's a lifetime record. Definitely, my kids will be listening to Slow Jams. That's definitely a lifetime record. So how is it, you know, working with Kanye back in the day? I know you guys. You said that you talked to him here and there, but how is it working with Kanye?
It was always dope, and I think I got a chance to experience different levels of his creativity in different levels of his career. Because when I first met him, and there was no sign of him actually becoming famous, I was listening to his music and hearing that different sound, like, man, he sounds different from everybody else. And this is at a time frame when we were like able to go to each other's houses and stuff like that. So then there was the beginning stage of him starting to get his feet wet, and now you pretty much had to believe in him as an artist if you were seeing him at this point, like before Through the Wire, you know. So just working with him through the different levels, one thing I would always say is that he had a confidence about himself that always gave you the confidence that what you were doing with him was gonna be big, you know what I mean, or colossal. You know, whether it's like a record or a TV show, an appearance, an interview, his approach always gave you the confidence to make you feel like what we were doing is going to be something big, you know. And I think artists need that today. A lot of artists sometimes are too confident, but sometimes they are insecure. And I think somebody with that approach and the creativity able to apply it as well is always big. And then like the first songs we started doing together were hits. So it was like, hey, I love working with Kanye.
You're definitely major hits. Slow Jam, Overnight Celebrity. Overnight Celebrity is one of my favorite tracks by you. And it's so crazy because I was listening to you. I was like, what is Twista up to during this quarantine? Like, I want to know. I want to give him my flowers, you know, because, you know, you have paved the way in hip-hop. And so I listened to Overnight Celebrity and the instruments. I don't even know what that girl's name is that plays the violin, but I was like, where is she now? Like, I need like a little, like, where is she now? But
her name is Miri Ben Irie. She still gets down too. Miri Ben Irie. If you go to her live, like, you know, her Instagram, she still gets down. Still.
She killed it. And I feel like back then in the early 2000s, we wasn't really getting those live instruments. You know, that in the 80s and 70s, that definitely did come about. 90s, yes, but early 2000s, that violin, and she really played that on the track, which, you know, says a lot about creativity when it works with Kanye. When you guys two come together, it was like, wow. So and you definitely dipped and dabbled, especially in R&B when you collaborated with Trey Songz, you collaborated with R. Kelly back in the day, and that's the kind of music that we definitely did need. So now, you know, we're in 2020. Things have. Do you miss the album signings, the opening up your album and seeing the lyrics? Like, do you miss that nostalgic feeling? of getting
Of course.
out, especially being an artist.
Yeah, every time the era takes a turn, you miss it. You know what I mean? Like when it was about cassette tapes and vinyl, and then you started to go to the CDs, you missed the cassette tapes and vinyl. With the CDs, you started to miss that when we get to the next thing. So just as technology grows, as time goes, you always miss the last phase. But never in my life had I witnessed the pandemic. So I'm sure that everything in everybody's life that they were doing before this happened, if they knew this was going to happen, they would have cherished every moment even harder. So me, I'm along with everybody else, cherishing every moment that I've had and wishing I would have cherished it more.
Exactly, because before the pandemic, you was actually doing shows.
Yeah.
You was actually out here. I'm from New York, so you was actually in New York around February. That's when your new EP came out, Lifetime, which we're gonna get into.
Right.
Shortly.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Which we'll get into shortly. But yeah, you're still selling out shows. You're still doing the thing. What is a recipe to remain relevant, especially coming from the early '90s? Because a lot of people in and out and they one-hit wonders. But what do you think is a recipe to remain relevant?
Well, it's different. It's definitely different techniques to remain relevant. All of them significant, but for me, I think understanding that this music, hip hop, is like what should I say? Rap is a youth sport. You know, the creativity starts from the youth. It's a youth-driven sport, and me understanding that, I'm always paying attention to the new music coming out, always trying to grasp or understanding to why they like something if I don't particularly like it, so that I can always stay fresh and keep an open mind to be able to make new music the right way. So I keep it Twista, but at the same time, I'm up with the current times and I'm up with the hottest rappers and the new styles and things like that, so I can stay fresh. You know, so I would say knowing that it's a youthful sport, staying fresh, and also being an artist to the heart. Like some of us just do it for the money, or we are in it for different reasons. But for me, I'm a true artist. Rather I have a record deal up here or an independent over here or just in the basement, I'm a true artist. So you're always going to see me doing something.
That's really good. Talking about record deals, I mean, you had a few record deals come at you in your career. I know that you kind of regretted the Rockefeller back in the day.
Yeah.
But
We would. Go ahead.
Sorry, it's crazy because I feel like we are in different paths for different reasons. So that didn't work out, and then it's like a domino effect. But I remember back in the day, Rockefeller, did they want to sign you then, or how did that work out?
Yeah, at the time when I started doing my thing with Kanye, we were making a lot of noise, and I was already signed to Atlantic Records. But us being, we're brothers. You know what I mean? Me, Kanye, Jay, we're all brothers. So we had a connection, beyond any connection you can get with a record label or different people. So we just wanted to rock it out as a crew. They accepted me with open arms to be part of the crew. And it's a situation that would have worked out had we been able to get the business in order. But getting hot like that, me already being in the situation, it was kind of hard to make it happen on paper. So, we all stayed cool as far as, us being family and friends and messing with each other with the music. But as far as us being able to put it on paper, we weren't actually able to do it. But I was still happy with the situation I had a lot of good years with Atlantic Records and was able to put out my music. So it wasn't a total letdown. I was still out here rocking.
Exactly, which is really amazing. You was with Atlantic for over a decade, I believe.
Yeah.
You was with Atlantic for quite some time, and you released major hits under Atlantic at that time, and now you have your own MMG, right? Is that this is what 2020, what you're doing now? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, mine is GMG. GMG is Get Money Group or Get Money Gang. It's really the imprint, the brand I've been running, or should I say the imprint I've been going under for a long time now. So anything with Twista, even my Instagram is Twista GMG. Yeah. And that's what I go under when I'm releasing music. So you'll see GMG on a lot of my clothing, a lot of things I'm doing. Get Money Group or Get Money Gang. That's what we do. Chase the paper.
I like that. So are you in your group, are you signing anybody, or is it just you, your solo? How does that work out?
It always morphs. Like sometimes, some years and times of certain years, we are in the signing phase, depending on the climate of the business. Sometimes I'm more focused on my particular projects at the time and need the attention from the whole team. So it changes from time to time, depending on the situations and predicaments. Like if a particular artist is hot or something like that, or you know, a special a special opportunity presents itself, then I think anybody would want to make a signing. But like I said, sometimes I get to focus on my own projects because I'm still an artist. And I think it's dope to be able to bounce back and forth like that. And I also think artists should pay attention too. Like, be careful what kind of label you sign to as it pertains to another artist, because that artist may or may not have the time to put into your career, you know. But every situation is unique. Sometimes your place of value may be under that artist or rolling with that artist with what he's doing. Then sometimes it may hinder you. So your situation will always be unique, but always know generally you have to pay attention if you sign to another artist label if they aren't able to pay attention to your career.
And that's really good advice that you gave, because I feel like these days people are signing 360 deals. They're not getting the right deal, or they're not, the artists themselves aren't making enough money. It's different nowadays, and you've definitely seen the shift. Since we're in quarantine, you know that Verzuz is going on with Twista and Swizz Beats, which is amazing. So many people want to see you verse somebody. So do you have anybody you want to verse on Verzuz? I've seen that you made some of your picks, if you don't mind sharing those as well.
Man, that's hard to say. Like for me, that's hard to say. A lot of people, they name so many names. The first things that come to their mind is people who rap that. You know, Twista Buster. But to me, the dynamic doesn't fit. Even though me and Buster, we rap fast, I feel like we had different careers, and it may be somebody else to do that with. But I'm really thinking though, but it's gonna be somebody special that I know that when we rock out, it's gonna be a positive. See, somebody said the person that's kind of in my head. I think I may give Mystical a call, see if me and Mystical can rock out like that.
That would be so dope, because you guys are from like the same era, the same time, have the same, you know, type of, you know, flow, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then that's my brother, you know. Yeah. That's my brother. We got good times together, and I know he gonna keep it lit. Like I know if I do it with him, it's gonna be lit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I know we both got jams, and we both can have a real good time with it, and everybody will love it. Like that'll be dope. You know him, somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because everybody's saying, "Oh, I want to see Twista. I want to see Twista do Verzuz with somebody." Because Nelly and Ludacris were the first rappers to do Verzuz. Everybody else was producers, songwriters, singers, but they were the first rappers. And then you came to mind, and I definitely saw your list with like, you know, Mariah versus Janet, or you know, such as those. I'm like, oh, those are good ones. Twista's coming up with good ones that I would definitely like to see. I know every week that they're doing it. So do you chime in and tune into those Verzuz as well?
Yeah, definitely. You know, these are people who not only I'm fans of, but I've actually got a chance to be around and work with. I've been in the studio with Swizz Beatz. I've been in the studio with Timbaland. And the people that they have around, I've been in the studio with Luda. I've been around Nelly doing events, you know, so all of these are like my peers and stuff. So it's like definitely interesting and a popcorn night every time you see it.
Yeah, definitely. I tune in every weekend. I love to even see like the producers and songwriters, because that right there is like, whoa, they produced that. They wrote that. I'm like, wow. So talking about producers and songwriters, on your new EP Lifetime, you've worked with more producers and songwriters than you have on a project. So how was that? Because it was a group of young adults helping you produce, helping you write, helping you with everything, the cadence, the flow. Right. How was that experience?
Blessed and spoiled. That's how I felt, blessed and spoiled. Like, wow, I don't have to do shit. That's how I felt. But it was so dope, like to be like when you know that you are where you need to be creatively and you're comfortable in your skin, then you also get the privilege to work with other artists and producers. I guess this is how Drake feels, or how Kanye feels, or, you know, any artist that may reach out the box that knows how to write, but still, let me get a few extra minds in the room so we can put something together. Like, that was real dope. I felt like my best description of it is like a cheat code. You know what I mean? I felt like I had the cheat code to the game, and we were in there just rolling them songs out. I even had songs left over after the experience that I plan to use for my projects. You know, some of them like killer. You know what I mean? So that was a great experience. Shout out to everybody that worked on the Lifetime project with me, and I definitely plan on working with everybody in the future.
Definitely, because that came out in February, your Lifetime project, and to see you know, it's sponsored by Red Bull, but to see the dynamic that you had with all those people. Did you know them prior, or they were just like, here you go?
We all met each other right there. Like, they were giving well, they had background on me generally, but they were explaining what was going to go on. And it was something they were already familiar with. They write for people all the time. But me, it was probably more of an experience for me than them. You know, for them, yeah, because I'm Twista or whatever. But me, I'm in my body, so I'm going in here like, damn, what am I going to do? I got to spit the rhymes they say, or I got to do, you know, so. But once I got in there, you know, I turned into the maestro, and I was able to, okay, take it here, or take this there, or I'm willing to do this or that. And then these were some cold motherfuckers, you know. So we were in there jamming. It was going down.
That shit was dope. And just to, even you would tweak a little bit of the lyrics just to make, because you wanted to make sure it sounds right and it goes together. So you definitely had your third eye looking at those lyrics. And seeing what was, you know, going on with the process, and for them to come up with those beats. And when I was watching it as well, they had to do verse references, so they can't rap as fast as you. So how was it kind of going in the booth and trying to mimic what they were doing?
Well, they actually can rap as fast as me in their way. You know what I mean? So they had history on me and kind of knew what I wanted. So when they got coasting with the songs, they had me down pat. You know, so if anything, you might be right though. They were going through some shit, like writing for me. And then when I'm listening to their lyrics, me being able to deliver what they're saying came to me fairly easier than what they were writing came to them. So you might be right, you know, but it was fun. They had fun writing that shit. I had fun recording it. So, you know, and I know it definitely probably enhanced their writing, you know, when they went to the next artist to write. It probably was way easier than writing for me.
Yeah, of course. They were like, well, we have Twista. Like, they already knew, like, legend status. Wait a minute. Like, we have to deliver. And to see work ethic like that, I mean, you've been around so many artists, so many producers, so many people that have to have that work ethic, because that motivates you as well. So that, to see that, to even see you just go in the booth and do it, and to come out, and it was a solid project. It was only a few songs. I was like, only a few songs, but it was definitely.
That was the goal, though. That was the goal, to come out with that many songs. But we definitely had an album worth, you know. Yeah, it was dope, you know. It was a new experience, though. It was like, to me, I want to be able to take the music to other levels. So, like I said, I started with the battle rap, then I got into the melody. So then I got into that. So I've been writing lyrics and songs forever. So I had never got in the studio and worked with writers. So it was like I was a kid in a candy store and wanted to see how it would come out. And I loved it. I love it.
I love watching the process. I'm so glad that was definitely a videotaped. So Chicago, new school rap. Is there anybody you would collaborate in the new school, as you would say, I guess?
I love them all, you know. It depends on what you call new, because some of them been doing their thing for a while. But everybody like G Herbo, Lil Durk, all of these guys. I love all of the new guys. If you rep in Chicago, right, and you got a generally good vibe from everybody in Chicago, then I will fuck with you. You know what I mean? One of my favorite artists in Chicago is Ty Money, though. There's a guy in Chicago named Ty Money. cold, real cold. I guarantee you, when you listen to his music, you'll be like, oh shit. Like, so these are one of the people like that I'm proud of as far as being from Chicago. As I take a step back and see the up and coming guys, is one of the people that I'm proud of. I still love like the fact that Chief Keef is like a rock star, you know, from the city. You know what I mean? So, you know, everybody, like it's so many people in Chicago that I'm proud of that's doing their thing. It's one guy like Mush Millions. That's a guy I don't hear people talk about a lot who's from Chicago. Check out Mush Millions. Super dope. Bunch of people in the city though.
Wow, yeah, Chicago is such a huge city. Amazing talent from rappers to singers to athletes, you name it. And to come from a city of talent, and you're one of, you know, the legends that, you know, coming from Chicago must feel good as well. So now we're in 2020. You lived a life, your career, amazing career. What do we see coming from you in the next couple of years? I mean, we're in a pandemic. I know, quarantine was a little crazy, but what do you want to accomplish that you have not accomplished in the last 20 years?
In the last 20 years, maybe I would say succeeding in all of the business ventures that I'm involved in. You know, there's a few things I'm involved in. You know, marijuana is legal in the state now. So me and a team of people are dabbling in that business. We're waiting on the answers to come back on whether we're going to get licenses to do certain things. I have a hemp grower's license. I deal with a lot of people with dealing with CBD products. So we're putting a lot of stuff together in that aspect. Real estate, you know, as you see, we got this thing behind me right here, MAPS. This is a music school. MAPS is musicians, artists. Yeah.
I've heard about that you do that. I was actually speaking to somebody from Chicago because people are now following me from around the country. And I was telling them, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to interview Twista. And then they was like, yeah, you know, he has a school and this, that. I was like, no. So you give back to the community. I don't know if that's talked about as much, but you give back to your community to the fullest.
We do.
Yeah, as well. So, that's amazing. School Twista, you are.
Yeah, we trying to do it. We trying to do it.
Yeah.
I got a few mentors that's going to talk at the next MAPS classes. That's going to be dope. So me, my buddy Toxic, a producer from Chicago, he's all over my previous projects. Like we started the school and along with the lady, and we just proud of it. It's turning out to be dope. And we were doing physical classes right before the pandemic started. Once the pandemic started, we adapted quickly and we started doing the classes online, and they've been taking off.
Ooh,
yep. So
that's really good that people are definitely tuning in.
And we also, people probably don't know, but we have been giving away masks. Me and one of my buddies, Creative Scott from Chicago, and the state rep from Illinois, LaShawn Ford. We went to Stateville prison, gave masks to them. He continued on the journey and went to the females prison out by Springfield, and we're gonna keep this ball rolling. You know.
Wow, that's amazing. I did see that on your Instagram that you are giving out masks. This pandemic, it has slowed us down. Well, it slowed like outside down, but it didn't slow your creativity, your music, everything else that you have going on, because you keep going. And
I always adapt. I love this game so much that no matter what happens, I always find a way to adapt so I can exist in it.
Yes, and I really appreciate it. And I also appreciate you so much for coming on my live. It's an honor to have you on my live, and especially to take out your time and speak to MsTeeTalk. It's an honor, and I want to thank you.
It was dope. This is dope.
Yeah, thank you. Because
who's next?
I saw Little C's was in here. I saw Keith Murphy in here. Yeah. I'm trying to, do my thing. I mean, I've been supporting my locals in Long Island. I'm from Long Island, New York. So I've been doing interviews, about 100 people there. Then, I'm branching off and doing, some celebrity interviews, build my credibility, Twista, you see me out here.
Oh,
yeah, so I'm trying to, do my thing. I went to school for radio and television. So I'm really trying to just pass the torch and really just make my city proud, make everybody proud, myself. And
No
it's
doubt.
just amazing that I have Twista on because I listen to you like all the time. So like I mentioned, it was definitely amazing to have you come on my show. A lot of people love this as well, I see in the comments.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at all my people in the comments. Much love, everybody in the comments. I see y'all.
Yeah, Chicago's in the house.
Blessings, blessings.
Long Island's in the house, so everybody is definitely in the house represented again. But I definitely want to thank you again for taking out your time. Hopefully, when this whole pandemic is over, you go back and promoting Lifetime, so we can definitely see you turn up. And hopefully, I see you on Verzuz.
Yeah, it's gonna go down. I gotta call the big homies. I know they want to see me on there, so it's definitely gonna happen. Stay tuned. Be looking forward. I'm gonna remember this conversation too because I hadn't mentioned anybody. So on this platform is my first time actually mentioning out of my mouth somebody that I would go against.
Wow. See, that's great. That feels great. So you got the TeeTalk exclusive, guys. The TeeTalk T exclusive.
You
so
dig?
yeah. So thank you again. So hopefully you have a good night. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, and stay blessed. Tell everybody stay blessed.
All right. You too. Bye.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.